Hello everyone, how are we all? Good morning.
Good.
Have you just come over from Nadia's Instagram?
I think we need a little song. People were saying they're feeling. What do you think? Everybody together. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you and you and you and you and you.
There you go.
It's nice to be nice. Hashtag it's nice to be nice. The simplicity of that sentence. Nice to be nice.
I don't like the word nice though.
Oh my God, there's roast potatoes left from last night.
I find the word nice is a really sort of, it's a meh word, isn't it?
Well, it is a mer word.
Kind isn't, good isn't, positive, but nice is...
Do you know what? It's because it got
Oh, he's
overused.
really nice.
No, but it's because it got overused.
By who?
Actually, if you think about nice, it's a very, even kind is quite a, there's a bit of drama in it. Nice, for me, is just like an easy,
No, I prefer
human,
pleasant. Pleasant is a nice word.
Pleasant.
Nice is just...
Pleasant to be pleasant. Pleasant is nice.
Pleasant isn't.
Pleasant
is nice. It's nice, pleasant. Erin, Tyler Paris. I'm so pleased you told me how to say Erin.
Erin.
Looks like I'll be Santa this year. Rest of the family no money thanks to the lockdowns. Oh, Erin. It's gonna be a Christmas of invention and a Christmas of intention. Oh God, did you hear that? I just came out of my left armpit. A Christmas of invention and a Christmas of intention, which is all about making. I think it should be a Christmas of making, not like constructing cardboard boats, though maybe you could, but just sort of creating nice things. Laura Taylor, I'm pleased you homed in on mouthwash. Go and buy some Listerine. Everyone, go and buy some Listerine. Now, I'm not doing a Donald Trump, and I'm not doing... It's in the news.
Oh, they've been going on about this.
Hang on a minute. This was one of the first stories. I tell you what I'm really cross about. All these early stories that broke, and then everyone went, no, like masks. No.
Do you remember they told us over
Actively
and over
told
again,
us, no.
doctors don't wear masks.
But apparently, if I can find health and coronavirus, wherever it is, God, this is really annoying.
I've just realised.
Mouthwash.
Hang on a minute, just 1 second.
Yeah.
I can't remember, and it was the same over in New York with Fauci and with our scientists here. I can't remember, I can't think of, and correct me if I'm wrong, seeing a single scientist explain why they told us not to wear masks in the beginning. And maybe that's why there are people that still won't wear masks, because there wasn't an explanation as to why they changed their mind. Can you think of anyone that has? Balanced, witty,
There never is. They just move on as if it's a kind of self-evident truth. Mouthwash can kill coronavirus within 30 seconds of being exposed to it in a laboratory, a scientific study has found.
I think this is very, very dangerous stuff to peddle. I really do. Because...
Peddle?
Yeah, to peddle out that people...
This is in the Evening Standard.
I don't believe it, and I
Clinical trial will now examine how effective mouthwash is in reducing the viral load in saliva. This is crucial because it comes out of the mouth.
Every time you're around someone.
No, that's not the idea. I think the idea is that if you've got it, it will reduce your ability to spread it from your mouth. Do you get me?
But I mean,
it's not going to prevent you getting it.
I understand that. But what are they saying? Everyone's got to be walking around washing their mouth out with mouthwash the whole time. It's a chemical. They're not good for you.
I don't think anyone's advocating anything. I think there's just studies are showing that the components of mouthwash do genuinely manage to reduce the presence of coronavirus in the mouth.
But you know what I worry about with these articles is that people then go out and buy loads of mouthwash.
Yeah, there is always the worry that everyone will now go mouthwash crazy. It's like if alcohol removes it. You know, there were stories in parts of Russia of people just drinking neat ethanol.
Well, let's not forget with some of the stuff that Trump said people went to do it. And the thing is, what they're probably saying is there is something in mouthwash that may be useful in the future with research and other things, but not mouthwash. Can you imagine everyone walking around with bottles of mouthwash? It's not good for you.
Yeah.
I would never use mouthwash.
That's a good point that Anastasia Alexander says regarding the speed of the vaccine. We're hearing a lot of chat about, there was a lot of people on the radio, I was listening to the radio yesterday, and a lot of members of the public were phoning in, but very valid points saying, look, it's great, I'm sure it has efficacy, all that sort of stuff, but surely they must have cut corners to get it here quickly. But Anastasia Alexander says, read the speed of vaccines. SARS and MERS, both coronaviruses, already researched,
Yeah, exactly.
gave COVID vaccine a head start.
Yeah.
So couple that with the enormous government funding means that manufacturing could begin earlier and clinical trials had no corners cut. So I think that's a really important, pushback on the idea that it's all happening too quickly and too soon. And how do we know? I think you've made the point actually.
I've made this point many times
quite a few
over
times.
months.
Yeah.
But because I heard it months ago from somebody very smart said that to me. But I think it's a shame that hasn't been being said the entire time, because it's always like we're backtracking. Like all the way through, they should have been saying, we will be further ahead with this vaccine because we were already researching it for these other viruses. And every step of the other thing is, I think apparently, like with when you've got a new vaccine, there's great long gaps between testing and approving, and that has been squished together, so you get it and you're straight into being but I think they need to explain that. They need to explain that the corners that have been cut are
I don't necessarily feel they've cut too many.
No, but the corners that have been cut will have been what's it called? Oh my god, what's it called? Oh my God, that word's gone completely from my head. I will get better with this. Bureaucracy. The bureaucracy has been trimmed.
Yes.
So it sped it up.
Yeah,
but
red,
not the
red tape.
The red tape, yeah.
Gutterflower. My husband and I have been using mouthwash after a friend recommended it at the start of the pandemic. He's a doctor. We haven't caught it. Hubby is vulnerable and works in school. It's intriguing, isn't it?
How often do you use it? I mean,
most people
you could use
mouthwash.
it and then half an hour later you could
My
have
mum
mouthwash in
my
your
mum
mouth.
used to use Listerine a lot when she was young. She used to use it every day.
Oh.
Yeah. Used to swirl it around. Used to
Have
gargle
you ever
with
tried
it.
it?
No, I never liked it myself.
Feels wrong.
Yeah.
Feels wrong.
Now,
How are you all, first of all? How are you doing? Morning. Sir Septian has caught a morning light.
I think a few people already saying happy birthday for tomorrow. In case you didn't know, it's Nadia's birthday tomorrow, not today. A few people got a bit confused on that. So it's Nadia's birthday tomorrow, and then it's my birthday on Friday.
Hang on, that's a brilliant little fact. Apparently Dolly Parton, Lucy Heaney says, funded the research towards Moderna.
Yeah.
Really? I've always loved Dolly. Dolly, let's have a little blast. What's your favourite Dolly tune, Mark?
None.
What's your favourite Dolly tune?
I couldn't even give you one. Jolene, Jolene, Jolene.
His coat of many colours that my mama made for
she's a
me.
fabulous woman. I get all of that, but I'm not going to diss the Dolly. Don't worry, you ain't going to.
I'd love to see Dolly in concert.
You ain't drawing me into that gully. I'm not being
He did
drawn
this
into
before
the
and he
valley
dissed
of
the
death.
Dolly on my Instagram, and he was
It started a
hounded.
hashtag of don't diss the Dolly. I wasn't dissing the Dolly.
It was dangerous for Mark at points.
There was
wasn't
a
it?
moment there. Yeah, I won't tell you that, and it was a very, very tricky moment. But yeah, no. Anyway, so party poop Matt Hancock has inferred or suggested, though I actually listened to and watched his speech at the briefing, that lockdown
When was the
looms
briefing?
yesterday.
Oh.
And the lockdown doesn't loom. He didn't say it's likely. He didn't say it's inevitable. He said if the numbers don't go in the right direction, we may have to consider tightening of the tier system. So we are
Completely different
coming
thing,
out of lockdown.
Which is what I said yesterday.
We are coming out of lockdown. But what we have to remember is that some of the tier system rules are quite strict. And they're saying that tier one isn't... A lot of people are saying tier one is like what's it called when he called it a chocolate...
Teapot.
A chocolate teapot or a chocolate fire guard, isn't it? It's like...
Well, a chocolate teapot does the job very well.
No,
we
it
didn't
doesn't.
have to move on and look for another
No,
one.
I prefer a chocolate fire guard.
You little shit.
Yeah.
I bet you were awful at school. Awful!
No, I was just hyperactive and sweaty.
Just like you are now.
Yeah, just like I am now. So it's, the papers, the press, I'm so bored of this hysteria. Christmas lockdown is looming. Look, if we thought we weren't going to have tiered social distancing and all that shit, then we must be mad as a box of frogs. So if the numbers come down now, the important thing is that the numbers are coming down. Yeah. We are more than likely at the very peak, I think, of where the deaths and new cases. So the numbers today and tomorrow are going to be really, really important, actually, in terms of where the disease is going, where the virus is going. Because I think we're going to hit peak cases and peak deaths but we may have gone past them. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers
Purple
crossed.
butterfly. That's such a lovely thing I've just read.
Oh.
She's made sviha and quiche for my kids in honour of your birthday.
What's monquiche?
It's another delicious thing.
Shall I write that one down?
No.
So right,
You're not
okay.
gonna make it.
I've got you sat alongside me for a minute, and I want you to sit still. Sit on your hands. Sit on your hands. Sit on your hands. Right. If I get this straight, in the evening you would like.
Guess along with him.
This is
What
for
I
her
want
birthday.
for my birthday tomorrow.
So in the morning you want to go somewhere nice to have a nice coffee of your choice and an
And a
almond
walk.
croissant
And a walk.
Yeah. So that's brekkie.
Before it goes grey.
Do you
I
want
like it when
would
it's
you like
sunny.
anything brought to you in bed? You don't.
No.
You don't want to. She's
I
very
hate that.
particular. The reason I'm not going to surprise her is she'll be up at 5 a.m. doing some weird shit and posting it on Instagram. Talking. She's always talking to who? Because there's no one here, but she's always talking to someone. So you don't want me to surprise you with anything? I can certainly set my alarm for 4 a.m. to try and get a tray in front of you. Would you like? No, you want to.
hate
You want
breakfast in bed.
No, exactly.
Does
See?
anyone else hate
See?
breakfast in bed? You can't enjoy it.
She's so visceral when she does. Eat.
I hate because I like to get up. I like to see the morning. I love the morning.
So we're going to head out for almond croissant, nice coffee, and if you drop your specs, I'm going to pick them up.
What if
I'm
tomorrow
gonna-
when I get up I don't fancy almond croissant, I fancy bacon sandwich?
You can have bacon sandwich. So you want bacon sandwich. What bread do you want with your bacon sandwich?
No, I'm just having an almond croissant.
No, you just said you want it. If you want it, there needs to be the choice of it. This is where we start to get sit on your hands.
Plastic bread.
Plastic white bread, bacon,
Mother's pride.
butter. What do you want for lunch?
Smoked streaky.
What do you want for lunch?
We're going to do this test
What
for
do
the
you want
members
for
live.
lunch?
What do you think I want? What did I say I wanted? Can you help him? What did I say I wanted for lunch? They're going to know.
You said you
and
wanted
you're not-
ranouche.
Thank you, Mel W. Anyone
Bacon
else?
sandwich.
No.
What? They were-
For lunch, what did I say? Mel's
No,
remembered. Mel's
Brie-
remembered.
oh, yeah, no,
Mel W's
yeah,
remembered.
Brie and or camembert.
Yeah, because
and
you
a
just
baguette.
read what Mel said.
Go in my car and you'll smell the fact that this is being dealt with.
Jill and Lister, brie and crusty bread. Chrissy, brie baguette. Ellie, brie baguette.
Listen.
Baguette and
What
cranberry
do you
and brie
want
from
to
Pamela
drink? What do
Sharp.
you want
Well,
to drink? What alcohol would you like to be imbibing tomorrow?
I don't know. It's not
Your choice.
what we're going to do. Just
Freedom. What would you like? Get pissed.
no, but you can't get.
Well, just because I can't. Look, I behave like I'm pissed most of the time. So why don't you just get pissed?
We'll see. I don't have to get pissed. A couple of drinks would be nice. I don't
What
want
would
to
you
get
like?
pissed.
What's your
'Cause I
favourite?
wanna
What's your
spend a
favourite
day with
tipple
girls.
for the day?
Well, I do like a nice rosé. You know that.
Fizzy or not?
No, not fizzy.
Sometimes you like fizzy.
I know, but not now.
But why do you have such a strong facial reaction when sometimes you like things? Okay, and then in the evening you fancy some
Vodka and
Ranouche.
Ribena, says Claire and Elsie. I do like the vodka and Ribena. We've got both of those.
So Ranouche, for anyone who's wondering what the hell I keep saying, is a restaurant that delivers food. So
Yeah, but it doesn't deliver. It's too far away.
do you want me to be your Deliveroo?
Well, I do love Ranouche.
Where are they? Edgware Road.
Yeah.
Christ. I don't think that's considered essential travel,
well,
is
I
it?
can't have it. No.
Oh, is there no other sort of Lebanese or...
That's my favourite.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay.
There is
All right.
one in Streatham that's very good. That'll do, but I don't think they do Sviha.
Is that the one you stood in the centre
don't do
of
shawarma.
and screamed at everyone? In a very reasonable way, because
Oh, I didn't scream
No, you
at
didn't
him.
scream. No,
I
you
was
didn't.
firm.
No, you were firm because they were taking the Mickey, to be honest, weren't they? They were
Yes,
being
and I was very firm.
Yeah. Chrissy, who feels sorry for? No, I'm just. This is. You may have seen once on Nadia's Insta stories or reels or whatever. I lost my shit when she asked for a cup of tea, and I love doing things like that for people. She's so particular that she drains the joy out of giving things and providing things because.
Listen, now it's all handed over. Whatever I have, it would be lovely that you've done it for me, I promise. And I won't say a single word. Could I have some tomatoes with my brie?
Where did that come from? That was so. Can I just say something? I got into my car yesterday because I had to make a secret phone call. And the camembert that I've put in the back as a sort of natural place to keep it, the car reeks
Oh,
of
God.
camembert.
So now we've got dog and camembert. God.
Yeah, it smells of fox and camembert from the
Oh,
from
no.
the pet pet
Why
boxes
have you
in
got
the
me
boot.
camembert when I wanted brie?
Because I want you to have the option of being able to
Oh.
pop one in the oven and just melt it down and chuck a load of jam on the top. Was it cranberry sauce? What sauce do you like with your camembert? I've got every cheese there is.
I love you. We've got cranberry, don't worry.
Nicola Randall, it's a lovely scent in the car. I got into the car and I was like, oh my God,
Don't,
someone's
because I'm
died.
going to think of fuck shit now when I'm eating my camembert tomorrow. It's going to be ruined.
Thank you, someone who's noticed these. I'm slowly going to become Eddie Izzard. I'm going to run 86 marathons in the next 3 minutes. I mean, he's made the notion of a marathon utterly redundant. I'm going to run 48 marathons. 48 marathons. I'm going to run 48 marathons in an afternoon.
What about when he did his tour and he learnt the language? In each country he went to, he did his routine in the language. I mean, he is genius.
Genius is very close to madness.
No, but he is genius. He's
first,
lovely. I've met him a couple of times.
One of the first ever gigs I put on a comedy gig at the university, and it was called, I can't remember what it was called, whatever. And we had 3 acts in this comedy gig. 3 acts. Their first performances. Comparing was Alan Davies, Eddie Izzard, and Jenny Eclair doing their first gigs. First gigs.
Wow.
Eddie Izzard in a room this big. He was amazing. I mean, I knew then he was just going to be absolutely amazing. I mean, he was obviously, he did a brilliant sketch about being chased by wolves, which I think was in his stand-up for quite a while. Nadia, is it a coincidence that Sviha sounds like Swedish? Sweden. Sweden. Okay, so mouthwash, Christmas lockdown. Right, I said this last night and I'm going to say it again. Brexit deal could be incoming. I am going to stop the naysaying. We've got a Brexit, it's going to happen. We didn't want it, but we're not going to sit there crying.
Mark and I were Remainers, but 50% of the country, 51 or 52% of the country wanted it. So
and last night I had a spike of severe positivity, and I think we're not going to have to deal with this word Brexit again beyond next Tuesday.
Bloody hell.
I think we're going to have a deal. I think the global economy needs everyone to
work. Now to coronavirus.
But I think the global economy needs as much cooperation and cohesion as possible. So I think everyone's going to kind of go, do you know what the fuck are we all arguing about? Can you imagine? It'd be brilliant if they went, come on, guys. It'd be lovely if Boris and his negotiating team went over to the French and went, come on, guys, we don't like garlic and onions, but we love you. We love you. Just make up. God.
I wish we could all just be friends.
So do I. Anyway.
I wish we could all just be nice. Just be pleasant.
Which draws me to a story that made me really, really cross. And I'm pleased you brought it up because I saw it, read it, couldn't actually quite believe it. People have complained about the Sainsbury's advert, Christmas advert, featuring a black family, accusing them of being woke. I literally cannot even comprehend.
I was ashamed when I read that.
Who would write that? So the
Millions
one moment
people.
in the history of all of it, you get one black family and you accuse them of woke. I mean, that's an outrage.
It's just disgusting. It's just absolutely disgusting.
It's an outrage.
But the problem is, millions of people think like that.
Well, why don't I tell you
Look
what?
at what's going on in
Rather
Europe.
than creating a sort of island of sort of, I don't know, unwoke. I mean, I believe also that you can have too much positive discrimination. It's a debate to be had. There can be too much woke sometimes, but that is not woke. That is not woke. That is representation.
It's just a family.
Oh my! I literally can't get my head around it.
But it's a bit like you today as well. When you came down, you said, "I really, really want a hug." That's so pathetic for a man. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I said, "You're not a man. You're a human.
Yeah.
These are just human beings in an advert." It's good though because it brings up the debate again. Morning, gorgeous.
Hey. Yeah, it's just an absolute outrage. It just makes me embarrassed. It makes me embarrassed when that happens to be British. And that's not representative of everyone in Britain. It's just an absolute embarrassment. And I started watching, I'm just going to say, I'm going to review it with Nanny Di tomorrow. I just started watching the first in the series of Steve McQueen's Small Acts last night.
Oh, was it good?
Beautifully observed. And the first episode is about the Mangrove restaurant. brilliantly acted. I got about 15, 20 minutes. I started it really late. But it's really weird because, of course, it all takes place where I grew up. My mum went to the Mangrove restaurant a few times. And this is about the Mangrove 9, it's about the police interference and all that kind of stuff. And of course, we lived at the bottom end of Portobello Market, around the All Saints Road and all that kind of stuff. And it's so evocative of my childhood as well. I realise how it literally everything I'm watching. And I was reminded, there was a really curious moment, I was reminded how in the early 70s, and the 70s in Notting Hill Gate and around there, you know, the area was still recovering from, a lot of areas were still recovering from World War II bombings. And there was a scene of the Westway being built, and they had kids, scallywags, throwing televisions, bouncing off mattresses. That was what we used to do, because like, my childhood was a memory of just running around building sites. The fact that we didn't fall on huge girders and get spiked and stuff.
Unbelievable.
We just threw rocks off things, we jumped off things, but what I realised in retrospect, historically...
You never thought of your safety, did you, when we were
No,
kids?
but you know, all those places with corrugated iron, a lot of those places were the debris of places that had originally been damaged in the war and still hadn't been built up. It was just amazing. Anyway, there's a connection there, because, of course, this series by Steve McQueen is about pivotal moments in the British black experience, West Indian experience in the UK. And it's just a real eye-opener. So the idea that on the same day, we as a country, we have enough people complaining that Sainsbury's are woke is an outrage. What are we?
Unbelievable.
It makes me so angry.
Somebody was just saying the other day that there was the same thing when Tesco's used an Asian family.
But it's like, what if you use, I mean, I hate the word use, so if you represent a certain ethnic minority or cultural group once or twice or mixed in with others, if whenever you do it you're going to be accused of being woke, this is lunacy.
And hang on a minute.
Go to an island, you anti-woke people.
I remember
it makes me so angry.
Leo saying to us once, and what's wrong with woke? We shouldn't see woke actually as a, it just means awakened.
Yeah.
Awakened.
Yeah.
That's what it means. It
think-
has become a derogatory term.
You're right, it has become a derogatory term. And there are, what I mean is, there are often points where I think for all cultures it's important that there are elements of not not doing a sort of reverse sort of prejudice, if you like. But I mean, you know, things aren't woke. What equality isn't woke. It's outrageous. Elizabeth Gordon, thank you. Woke means awaken, exactly. So there we go. Oh, it's just so annoying. HW, that was my childhood too much. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. It's a 2-hour. I don't know if all episodes in the series are 2 hours, but I'm really looking forward to it. And it's sort of strange for me because the short film that I'm making at the moment is about a young white boy trying to ingratiate an older black child and try and belong to a group that's defined by race. And it's about not seeing colour or seeing colour. And it was really, the short film that I'm doing is actually based about my childhood in Notting Hill and in that neighbourhood, as I was a little white child running around with principally black friends, trying to understand what the bloody hell these politics was that was going on, which was very clear to them. And yet at the same time was almost not self-evident because I was so immersed. My childminders were all black, most of my friends at school were black. And so I was literally the only white boy sort of running around, and there was a sort of reverse, not racism, because it can't be racism, but there was a reverse sort of, I kind of began to feel marked as different. And it was just weird watching this show, being taken back to when this was happening in the late 60s, obviously before I was alive, but then into the 70s. It's really,
I'm gonna watch
really
it with the
redolent.
girls
It's
today,
really,
yeah.
I really want the girls to watch it. I think they'll love it. It reminded me a bit of that brilliant film Yardy, directed by...
Oh, God, yeah.
What's his face? What's the name of the actor who directed Yardy? Who we all... Idris Elba. Idris Elba's brilliantly directorial debut with a remarkable performance by Stephen Graham in the middle of it. Bloody hell, he's a lunatic, Jesus. But yeah, no, it's really worth seeing, and I really want to give it a shout out, and we're going to review it. So there you go. Sorry, it made me so cross, the Sainsbury's thing.
It really...
So cross. So cross. Anyway, the other little detail in here is there's a Royal Mail scam. There's some really, I hate to say it, guys, there's some really convincing scams knocking about at the moment. Really convincing.
Mindful. There's WhatsApp ones as well.
There was one that nearly got me, which was the O2 scam, where you get a text from O2, and if you've got an O2 account, they use all of the same fonts and with a link. You go through to an O2 page. Do not click on any texts from any organisation. I mean, it's going to be a problem for those organisations and companies that do send texts. But O2, massive scam. I had to immediately cancel my card straight afterwards. I am like fastidious about this stuff. I went into a blind panic, and then the O2 scam.
Oh look, Nicola Randall got.
Yeah, you got it, and it wasn't it convincing. I mean, this isn't about being naive or silly, because I'm always saying to Naz, don't click on emails, don't click on that, don't click on this.
Something?
Yeah.
You know when you get an email and you're not sure?
Yeah.
Do you just not click on it anyway?
Not at all.
But what if it's something that's really interesting?
Find interest outside your email inbox. That's what I'd say. There's nothing.
There was one that came the other day, and I'm
interesting.
sure I knew the name, but I didn't click on it.
Yeah, no. Unless you've ordered something and it's a confirmation of an order, I don't open any. And obviously, if it's from a work colleague or someone that you're working with,
But that's such a good scam, isn't it? Confirmation of order. You just click on that.
Well, that's the problem. But
what is the Royal Mail one though? You haven't said.
So the Royal Mail one is it's an email that is asking you to pay $1.99 to deliver a postage. Now, if you ever get a lot of times, like if you order something, especially when you're ordering parcels, if they come from abroad, you often have to pay excise and duties and all that kind of stuff. If you've got something to pay, it will come as a letter, in a sort of pre-sealed and perforated letter with an official code, and you have to go to the official website. Don't click on anything. Don't click on anything.
Georgina Duffy, I kind of agree with you. I really disagree that we all have to get behind Brexit. You're allowed to maintain your opinion even if you're in the minority. Just no need to fall out with people and keep an open mind.
Oh, no.
I actually agree.
Don't get me wrong, but the point is we can't change it.
We can't change it.
No, that's all I'm saying.
We actually do agree with that.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
And like all the rudeness and the anger towards people that were Remainers or Leavers, all of that. Can't be doing with
and don't get me wrong, I would immediately vote for any party that says they take us back into Europe. I would vote, if Labour say, all right, we'll go back into Europe if we get in, I'll be like, brilliant, that's fantastic. I do genuinely think that you've got to ask these questions, right? If countries like Russia and China are actively interested in fractured nations and a lack of cohesion in the West because it benefits them, surely that's enough to tell you that we need to not do it. Do you know what I mean? That, for me, it seems really strange that a great number of Brexiteers are sitting on the same side of the equation as Putin, who wants Europe to fracture and the European project to fall apart. I had huge criticisms of Europe prior to Brexit. I was never like a blind advocate of union and everything. I do believe I like cultural identity, cultural difference. I like individual currencies and all that kind of stuff. But I think the idea that we have a free market and a cohesive free movement of people and all that kind of stuff, I don't see what's wrong with that. There need to be moderations on it when the infrastructures of countries can't cope, of course, but I don't have a fundamental problem with it. Do you know what I mean?
You are on fire this morning, babe.
I'm so exhausted.
And we've got to go because our children are circling and they need us.
Yeah.
But first, before we do, I want to say happy birthday to Claire Booth. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Claire Booth. Happy birthday to you.
Now, of course, Nadia reserves the right to appear
Remain
in
and
nothing
reform.
tomorrow. To appear in nothing.
No, I'm going to do the morning
No,
live.
but I'm just saying you have the right, babe.
Yeah.
And if you drop something, show them what I'm going to do. If you drop something on the floor, drop the sweet X on the floor. Oh, babe, I'll get that for you.
Thanks, it is my birthday.
There you go. Oh, look what I did the other day. I bent down and I ripped my trousers. Anyway,
We've got
guys.
loads of filming to do, so we're going to see
Lots
you
of
later.
love. See you
Bye,
later.
guys.
Bye.